Hello, my name is Alexey Presnov, and welcome to the show. This is Analytic Energy Agency, and today we'll continue our English-speaking observations for our English-speaking audience. And we haven't met with you for 2 weeks, and uh, last 2 weeks were, not very rich in events. In terms of some developments, but of course we cannot pass this kind of event like the visit of President Putin to Kazakhstan and his negotiations with counterpart Mr. Tokayev, and of course they have discussed many issues, and geopolitical ones, and economy and energy, and besides, and of course it was included these power sectors, the topics of our interest. And what we see, that there were now not much public results of this visit. Actually, many observers expected that it would be some solution, decision on the at the nuclear power plant of construction in Kazakhstan. As you know, they had this referendum on that, and it was yes for construction of first nuclear power plant of big size in Kazakhstan. And Rosatom is one of the contenders of this contract. But Kazakhstan, they inclined to have kind of consortium, international consortium. But the thing is, due to these political tensions in the world, it's very difficult to combine the interests of all those, possible participants of these consortiums. No, so far there were not news on that something certain who will be the major constructor. Of course, Rosatom hopes that it would be them, but we will see how it goes. Uh, of course, what we saw during this visit, that many Kazakhstani speakers discussed various issues related uh, to this cooperation in power sector, and we saw again the statements that Russia sells very high-priced electricity to Kazakhstan, and that is why many of them they say that that is why the prices in Kazakhstan rapidly growing, and we see that as well. And wholesale prices, they went up almost 2 times over a year and a half since summer of 2023. By now, and the reason for that, there are various reasons for that, and I think that we will, analyze those reasons, and we will present them also in our videos here on the channel. But the thing is that we don't agree with these statements, and that is why we issued actually our own position on that in our recent video in Russian. And I briefly just repeat those arguments we presented and laid off. For instance, they were saying that the price of electricity from Russia is 2.5 times higher than wholesale prices of actually domestic producers of electricity in Kazakhstan. And the problem there is that they are buying electricity in Russia in those hours when the prices for electricity are very high. Because just briefly explain how it works in Russia, how the capacity charge is translated to the market. And you see here it's one day and 3 zones, and it's center, south, and Ural. See this hourly prices at first price zone, and it's 2019, but the situation is the same. Basically, the prices are a little bit higher than it's shown here, and every day they have, in every zone, they have some peak. As you see, this maximum of prices, because it's maximum of consumption at this hour, and hourly prices are the highest in this particular day. And if we go down there, we'll see how it's translated into the price here. We see this blue line. It's a price of this hourly prices. In the night, of course, it's very low. It's close to 1 ruble, a little bit higher than it today than it used to be. But anyway, it's quite low. And then at the same hour, which is here, for instance, this one is about 10 o'clock in the morning, the price went up, and the charge, and it comes to the amount of 40 to 60 rubles per kilowatt hour. Why it's so? Because at this time, the capacity charge and the capacity price is 100% of the price of electricity of operational market in Russia. It's about that. It used to be in those years in 2019, 2020, 2021, but now it's a little bit less. It's about 80% of the electricity price. So it just added up, but it's not added up evenly. It's added up in particular hours. So that's why there is a peak price. It's about 40, 60 rubles against 1 ruble. And then it comes down again, and we'll see it's like this. And for instance, if you have some of your own generation, for instance, gas, this reciprocal machines, this operational price here. So if you just switch it on in this time, so you don't consume from the system at this time, and so you can have a very good business on that. And the problem with returning back to Kazakhstan and Russia, the problem is that in particular when they buy the electricity, they buy it from neighboring. I'll show you from the neighboring regions, like here, for instance. Here's Kazakhstan on the map, and here's Russia, and here's you see this map of the lines. This major lines. It's a bulk grid of Kazakhstan and Russia, and of course it was left it was inherited from the Soviet Union. And you see these lines. It's the red ones. It's a 500 kilovolts lines there between the Ural part of Russia. It's a European part of Russia, and here is Siberia, and the lines go through the Kazakhstan, and so electricity is being purchased from Russia at this time through these lines, from these 500 kilowatts. Actually, they were built initially for 1,150 kilowatts, but they are used at this, the voltage of 500 kilowatts right now. And the Russian operator of export-import is called the company, which is called Interao. They are buying electricity somewhere here in those regions here, and then they just export it to Kazakhstan. And if we look back to this chart, we see this in those regions, in those hours when Kazakhstan has a deficit and buys electricity, the charges could be very high, like this, 40, 60 rubles. And if those peaks coincide in Kazakhstan and in those Russian regions, it leads to the situation which is explained by Kazakhstani our colleagues, and which they're saying why we sell, or why we buy this electricity at very high price, because they don't plan well. That's an answer for that. They don't plan their outages, the kind of repairments, all this maintenance works, and so on. And they need to, to plan that and try to not to buy the electricity and not to create this deficit at the same hours, which when electricity is very highly priced in Russia. That's the answer. That we actually, we devoted to that special video and explained to them, but we will see, and probably it will be some discussion there, to one of the on the one of the channels in Kazakhstan. Uh, Also, what else? What was interesting happened over this last 2 weeks? In Russia, we saw that there is a problem with these investment cycles because it's a very high interest rate of key interest rates from central bank, Russian central bank. It's about now 21%. And so actually all these investments are at stalemate, at gridlock, and the problem, they had some, auction for south of Russia, European part of Russia, in Krasnodar region, and no one came to this auction, and therefore the government just designated this power units to be built by certain government companies. So they are completely going away from the market. That's a very concerning kind of trend, and we will see how it goes. But the problem, is if we look at this more in a more wider perspective, the problem is that in Russia they didn't manage to create a stable, solid, and sustainable investment segment in the power market, because there is an opinion, it's widespread opinion that Russia had these reforms, the market is deregulated, and it's a very market oriented industry, the power sector, but it's not true. It's not true in terms of if we when it comes to investment segment, it's not true at all. All this investment, all this capacity market, they are very unstable. They are regulated manually, and actually they are controlled by the government, and that's a problem. There is no instrument and no mechanism in Russia. It was not created due to various reasons, and sometimes we will discuss that in details later on. But the truth is that right now, because of all those geopolitical problems, we see that Russia turns away from the market path in this, and becomes more and more, kind of planning and manual mode of close to this style, which exists in Kazakhstan, because in Kazakhstan, if we look at the same area, they don't have a competitive market, no in investment cycles, no investment segment, neither in operational segment as well. So that's a problem. That's a problem which we are noticing, and we have some solutions for that. We propose them, but so far it's difficult to go through with that. Okay, that's probably about it, which we wanted to tell you this time, and see you next time. Let us continue, try to continue to describe what is going on in Russia and Kazakhstan in power sectors. Sign up for our channel. I understand that it's probably not very good English, and not very, but anyway, it's some kind of information we will continue to produce and continue to present you on these areas. Thank you.